Is this color photo printer, copier, and scanner everything you need for your small office? Let's find out. Dave Taylor here, and this time I'm looking at color printers. Specifically, I'm looking at this. This is the Epson Expression Xp-8500, and it's really nice. It's what they call their small-in-one unit. So it's not just a color photo printer, but it's also a scanner and copier. And where does it scan? I'm glad you asked. There is a glass surface here that takes your 8.5 by 11. It'll work fine. And since it's a photo printer, you can actually make color copies, obviously color scans, but you can make color copies onto photo paper. So you can actually make some pretty nice copies. If you have a photo and you really wish you had a second one, this can do the trick all by itself. Now, it also has built-in USB, and you can drop in directly SD cards. So that means that you can take stuff straight out of your camera, if you have a camera, and then you can plug it into the printer, and using the control on the front here, you can pick the specific image you want. It's a little tiny color screen, and then print straight from there. No computer needed, super nice, super handy. Doesn't even need a network. Doesn't even need to be on the internet for that function to work. Now, having said that, it is a full Wi-Fi printer. So I actually have it hooked up via the internet, and it's on my Wi-Fi network. So all of my devices, whether they're Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, Linux, all of them can see this. And here's what's even more cool is that Epson actually has something they call Wi-Fi Direct, which gives you the ability to have this create its own Wi-Fi network. So if you don't have any wireless networks at all, this can still serve as a base for you to do wireless printing. Now, it doesn't magically get you on the internet. Life is not that good, but it works really great just straight ahead like that, which is really cool. Now, the printing itself, and you can see here in this close-up where all the cartridges or ink cartridges are, is it uses something called a 6-color Claria HD printing technology. So the 6 inks are cyan and light cyan, magenta and light magenta, black and yellow. So what this does is this means the printer gets really, really nice skin tones, and it can really do a really nice job of differentiating the sort of gradations of color shades on things like skin. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually send a 5x7 printout, and then we're going to do a close-up, and you'll see exactly how fast it is. Now, honestly, watching a printer print is a little bit like watching paint dry, but give me about 30 seconds and you'll see this beautiful photo come out. Okay, so printout's done. Let's have a look. Let's see. As you saw, it's pretty quick for a 5x7. And here you go. It really is a beautiful photo printout. I'll give you a quick close-up so you can see the detail, but it's done a really nice job, and there's some really nice nuance particularly in Minnie's face. And you know, that was pretty good for what, about a 17-second printout? Not too bad. So what else can I tell you is that obviously if you want to make a color copy, you can now put your photo on here and you can do a scan. What else? Let's see. Make copies, obviously. And scanning, on the Macintosh at least, it's super easy because the Mac printer driver for this includes scanning capability. So you go into the printer, you choose scan, and then it'll actually remotely scan off of this, which I use a lot actually. I use that to capture my children's artwork, for example, where it's just, instead of just having it stuck on the fridge, and then a few months later you throw it away because it's gotten a little gnarly. Instead, make a digital copy and now you have an archive forever. Super fun to look at stuff they did 5 or 10 years ago. Now, the printer itself is somewhat heavy. So it's about 14.8 pounds, so it's not exactly the lightest thing in the world. And it's, let's see, 23 inches in one direction, 17 inches in the other, and about 8 inches tall. And you see all this stuff out in the front. I will tell you that it all can go in. You can close it all up, and it all looks very nice like that. And the printer's smart enough, it'll actually open the doors and do whatever it needs just to have you have easier functionality. And of course the screen, if you have it in a position where it's hard to see it, you know, because it's flush, you can tilt it up a little bit to make it a lot easier. I really like that printing companies are doing this now. It's just a really great design. So, the only other thing to talk about is the cost of the ink cartridges. And before we get to costs, let me ask, if you don't mind, click on the subscribe button. I really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Now, how much would you pay for this printer? Well, the printer itself, the Epson Expression Xp-8500, runs $249.99 at Amazon. And honestly, you're paying not just for really great photo printing, but you're also paying for a really compact size. A lot of these all-in-ones are beasts. They're honestly like twice the size and just these huge, hefty things. This is something you could have on a shelf in your dorm room or in a small office even. It would work totally fine. You could have this in your closet and have huge printing functionality. Super nice. And the inks themselves. So it's 6 inks. 6 inks. Each ink cartridge will run you $10.99. It's standard size. And then you need to think about, well, okay, are there larger capacities? And the answer is yes. Epson sells larger capacity cartridges for about $21.99 each. The black turns out to be a couple of dollars cheaper. Not sure why that's the case. I guess it's a less expensive ink to produce. Either way, one of the nice things about the way they designed the 6-color Claria system is that if you've run out of magenta, but everything else looks fine, which of course your printer can tell you, and pretty much any printer driver will show you ink levels on the different colors. If you only need one, just buy one and put that one in, and then the others you can keep using. And that's a great win over designs where there's like one big bulky cartridge that has all the inks, because you know you're going to run out of them at different speeds. If I'm printing lots of stuff with red and you're printing lots of stuff with blue, we're going to run through cyan and magenta at different speeds. So it only makes sense to have a design where you can actually manage your cartridges as you go. But as with all printers, and indeed as with all photo color printers, it's the ink ultimately in the long run that's going to prove to be expensive. So know that as you go in. Nonetheless, I would say if you're looking for a really nice photo printer that gives you the functionality of a scanner and copier too, and can work pretty fast and pretty quietly, then this is actually a really good choice. This is Dave Taylor. I'm going to get back to taking photos and printing photos of Disney, and I'll catch you in my next video.